Hi guys, let's look at converting milliliters to liters and vice versa. Now from yesterday's lesson you'll remember that there's 1,000 milliliters in a liter and then there's 1,000 liters in a kiloliter. I also want you to remember that a teaspoon is 5 milliliters, a tablespoon is 15 milliliters and a cup is 250 milliliters. Right. I always say that if you are going to convert from a small unit to a larger unit, your number will get smaller. So if you're going from a small unit to a larger unit, for example, if you're going from milliliters and you're going to turn it into liters, your number gets smaller. Because to go from milliliters to liters, we have to divide by 1,000. That's just to remind you whether you should divide or times. So if we go from milliliters to liters, we take our milliliters, we divide by 1,000 and we'll have our liters. If you're going other way around, if you're going to take a large unit like liters and you're going to turn it into a smaller unit, then your answers, the numbers are going to do the opposite. Your number will get larger. So if we're going to take liters, which is a larger unit, and turn it into milliliters, a smaller unit, my number will get larger. So that means I'm going to times by 1,000. So if I take liters and I times it by 1,000, I'll have my answer in milliliters. Right, I want you guys to pause and copy this table into your workbook along with these notes on converting. This table is work that you have to memorize in order to just make it easy for you to remember how to convert. So 100 milliliters will be 1/10 of a liter, and that's 0.1 liters. 250 milliliters, 1/4 of a liter, and that can be written as 0.25 liters. Are you noticing a pattern here? If you look at what's happening to the milliliters to become liters, you might see that each time you're basically putting a comma there. Right? That's basically what's happening. And then lastly, 1,000 milliliters will be a whole liter. Right, let's do some converting. 3 liters. Well, if I'm going from liters to milliliters, my number has to get bigger, so I must times by 1,000. So that's 3,000 milliliters. Let's go other way around. Now, remember, it doesn't matter if you're working from left to right or right to left. I've got 240 milliliters. Now, remember, that is smaller than a whole liter. Remember, a whole liter is 1,000 milliliters. So this is going to be a decimal answer. 240 milliliters, if I want to go to liters, I need to divide by 1,000. And that literally means moving the comma, as we did there at the top. 1, 2, 3 spaces to the left. And that's going to put it there. Now, if a comma ends up right in front of a number, that means I must put a 0 in front. I can keep this little 0 there at the end, but I don't have to because a 0 at the end of a decimal is not needed. If I have 1.25 liters and I want to turn that into milliliters, I must still times by 1,000, and that literally means moving the comma to the right. So 1, 2, but now there's a third jump. Can you see where there's no number? So I'm going to fill that with a 0. So this will be 1,250. You could also look at 1.25 liters up here. There's your 1 liter. There's your 0.25 liters, and you can see that that's 250 milliliters and 1,000 milliliters, and you can just put them together. 87 milliliters. Wow, that is far from 1 liter. That is really a small part of a liter. So you can see that I need to divide this by 1,000 because I'm going from a small unit to a larger unit. And moving the comma 1, 2, 3 spaces to the front, comma goes there. I fill the gap with a 0. This is a 0 that we do need because it is in front of more decimal numbers. So that's comma 087. I can't just write comma 087, I have to add a 0 in front.